So today we're going to be talking about this tool called EtherCap. Last Wednesday, we basically discussed how we can analyze the network traffic going through our own kind of computer. But this time we're going to be able to see like intercept packets from other network connections, like outside of our device. So first off, what is a man-in-the-middle attack? A man-in-the-middle attack is basically when a hacker intercepts a connection and act as a mediator between a victim and its router. So what is EtherCap? EtherCap is a network tool that basically can perform man-in-the-middle attacks. And the types of attacks it can use are ARP and NDP poisoning. That's for IPv4 and IPv6 respectively. If you remember ARP is that address resolution protocol, which basically maps IP addresses and MAC addresses, which is the core principle of man in the middle. NDP, neighbor discovery protocol, I think, is basically the IPv6 version of that. Then you have ICMP redirect, Internet Control Message Protocol. When you redirect that's basically saying that you can like change the routing for packets, so you can send it to like some null server, just like send packets to like a null void or something like that, and that is a form of DOS. The next is you can do port stealing. Instead of pretending to be another device with their IP address, you pretend to be a port number. And a common port number would be like port 80 for HTTP and stuff like that. Then you have DHCP spoofing. DHCP is Dynamic Host Config Protocol. And basically that configs the subnet of your network and stuff like that. So if you're able to spoof that, you can pretend to be a whole like collection of devices. And then you have SSL intercept, and that will basically let you view traffic that's encrypted. So moving on to the lab portion, you can go ahead and do this at home if you want. In your Kali machine, you need to set up IPv4 forwarding, which is very important for men in the middle because you have to be able to forward the packets between the victim and its router. So you can use this first command here, this cat command, to check for that forwarding status, and you can use this command here to set that to true. So I'm going to go ahead, hop into our first. Let me show you my victim. This is this VM, this Ubuntu machine setup. I'm on this web page, this vulnerable login page on HTTP. Then this is the IP address for this device, which is 192.168.0.221. I can go back to my Kali machine, and let's first check for that forwarding. Mine is set to 1 already, but if not, you can run that sudo system control command. My password, and it's set to 1. And now we can officially start using EtherCap. So you want to write sudo EtherCap-G for the graphical version for the GUI. Launch it up. You'll get this little cute window. And here we can disable that and leave this on ETH0, and then you can hit accept. And now we can do, first of all, we need to check the hosts that are on this network. So on the top left, you have scan for hosts. Click that. And then now we can list the devices. So we see here, here's that target device that I was talking about. There's a 221, the Ubuntu machine. And then here's my router. So to perform this man-in-the-middle attack, I'm going to go ahead and set both my targets as target 1 being that Ubuntu machine and that target 2 being my router. It doesn't matter which one you set it to, which either one is target 1 or target 2. Most connections are bidirectional, so it shouldn't really matter. If you can click the 3 dots at the top and go to targets and hit current targets, so you can kind of view what your targets are again. So now that this is set up, I'm going to actually go ahead and launch Wireshark again. And here we're going to set this up on ETH0 interface. I'm going to go back to EtherCap and let's start this spoofing. So at the top right, you have this man-in-the-middle menu. Here are these attacks I was talking about, but right now we're just going to do this ARP poisoning. So I'm going to hit ARP poisoning. Leave these alone. You can hit OK. And now that this is set up, I can go ahead and start capturing packets with Wireshark. So while this is running in the background, I'm going to go ahead and go back to my machine. And now let's go ahead and log in. So let's pretend this website was any other kind of HTTP website. And right now I'm going to give away important information. But in this case, it's just username test, password test. I'll go ahead and hit login. And now that the login is successful, we can jump back into our Kali machine. And let's go ahead and stop this, and let's analyze this traffic. So in the display filter, I'm just going to be looking for ARP requests. And we see here on kind of this right side this kind of warning: duplicate use of 192.168.01. This is important. This is proof that our ARP spoofing worked. And you can see here it says duplicate IP address detected for 192.168.0.221, and then it gives you this MAC address, which is also used by this MAC address. And then it says the same thing for the router IP address used by this MAC address and this MAC address. So this 80027AD, this is my Kali machine. This is my Kali machine. So it says that my Kali machine has this IP address, which, if you remembered, was from our Ubuntu machine. But my Kali is now has that IP address. And then here it does the same thing for the router as well, this router, which is also being used by my device with this MAC address here, which is that kind of pattern you see here, my attacker pretending to be it. So yeah, now that we confirmed that our ARP spoofing has worked, let's go ahead and look for that login attempt. So that was over HTTP. So let's just look for HTTP. And with that, here we go. We see a couple of responses requests, and we see this get, and we see this user information. Let's go ahead and right-click, follow HTTP stream. And if we look at this, there we go. Look at that. That was the login information that we just typed up earlier. So what we basically just did here was we intercepted a request and response from this victim device, from this victim and our router who is logging us into this test login page. We were able to intercept that, and we were able to see that login information from our device. So there you go. This is just one of the few attacks that we could have done. Like if this was a more secure login page using HTTPS, we could have done some SSL intercept. Or if we were, let's say, trying to steal a file, we could do that as well. That's over like a TCP connection. We could steal a file that way as well. So yeah, this is just a kind of beginner introduction how to use EtherCap. We'll probably have more labs about this later, doing some more fun stuff. But yeah, I highly recommend you go ahead and try this out. So that wraps up EtherCap. We can go more in-depth view of this later, but in conclusion, man-in-the-middle attacks, being able to being able to do ARP spoofing, so then we can be the intermediate connection between a victim and router, and then we're able to extract data from that. So that wraps up this lesson. I'll be posting the slides and updating the handbook later, so you can view the information there.